Hello, everyone. Welcome to Artistically Married, where we explore the inner workings of our marriage driven by artistic expression. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman
and Brianne Steinberg.
Yeah, today we have kind of a more Brie-focused episode, as she did most of the research and everything for this one. But I think just as in a normal marriage, I'll make up for it on another one. So
pass the buck.
Yeah,
I thought you said a brief. What did you say? A brief focused? I thought you said a brief focused. I'm like, what? Is this going to be brief? This is only a 10-minute podcast. You wish. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So today we're talking about all about tribes. It's crazy. Well, we pick. Obviously, up until now, our podcast, we've been kind of focusing on our day-to-day lives. Like, we've been doing some exciting stuff as of late. But this one I think was really fun because once I picked the topic for the week, I was really able to like hone in on it and like focus on it and realize that it was happening throughout my daily life without me really giving it a lot of thought. So when you give yourself, typical, podcasting, meditation, anything where you're, giving yourself that grace and the time to sit down and think about something, it really started to like activate in my daily life. So yeah, today we're talking about all about tribes. We got some really fun tribes that have been prevalent or are still functioning today that are your stereotypical idea of a tribe. You're very indigenous.
Yeah.
Right. We have indigenous experience tribes that we're going to talk about. But really, we're all making our tribes every day. So, yeah. So we looked up the definition for you guys. And the Oxford Dictionary defines a tribe. Oh, sorry. Do you want to do this?
Yeah, sure.
Since you don't have a lot of content today.
I can read some of this stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Let's give our listeners a basic idea of like what a tribe definition is still by today's standard.
I was going to say it kind of fell into place also after our trip and kind of, seeing the community building that was happening just from the, the art and the music. And
absolutely.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, today our podcast is Find Your Tribe.
Okay, so Oxford defines a tribe as being a social division in a traditional society consisting of families or communities linked by social, economic, religious, or blood ties with a common culture and dialect, typically having a recognized leader.
Cool. So yeah, obviously it can be a lot of different reasons why you get together, different, rituals or traditions that function in your tribe. We're going to talk about, our tribes that we belong to today, but I think it's really important to realize that it's part of our social being, right? Us as humans, and we're really going to dig into this kind of the different reasons why people form tribes. But like the definition said, it can be any different reason why you're getting together, or your family. Your family is kind of your original tribe, so we're going to talk about that as well.
Yeah, that was actually something Marcus Aurelius said in his Meditations book. He calls humans a social animal, and that was very important to his thing was, where we don't just go around calling ourselves social animals, but it really is what we are, right?
100%. Yeah, you always like humans, why else would we have the definition or the description of being lonely? Like, we are so intellectual that we realize that we need another being around us to like advocate or to validate us, right? To give us value, we need the other person there. And that's why you see, partnerships and all this tribe building for sure. I think that's great. Who's Marcus Aurelius?
Marcus Aurelius was, he's an old Roman emperor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smart guy or what? Did
he
write memoirs?
He has a great kind of Stoic philosophy book. It's really excellent. I've been reading through it. I haven't been able to finish it. It's hard to get through, but there's a lot of amazing stuff in it.
I think you have told me about this. It was like his journal entries or diary entries. Okay, yeah. So humans tend to form tribes for a variety of different reasons, biological, psychological, and social reasons. And we're actually going to get really specific here with like talking about different reasons why tribes have kind of formed over the years. And then their simplest form, they're groups of people. They have common interests, they have common culture. Again, like we mentioned before, it might be kinship, might be like blood ties, like your actual blood relations. But the formations of tribes have been rooted in human history, and you see it all through human history as like gathering together for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, are we gonna go right into our different reasons why
Yeah.
we form tribes?
Let's do
Okay,
it.
the first one is survival and protection. So early humans lived in a harsh environment, and forming tribes provided safety in numbers. By banding together, humans could protect each other from predators, defend their territory, and hunt more effectively as a group. Cooperation and mutual aid were essential for survival. This obviously makes perfect sense if you think of early humanity and you have things like mastodons and all the
Yeah.
giant megafauna of the
Right?
past that you were just existing alongside you. Like you had to
Right.
be quite a creature to survive that, and obviously there's
Protection
going to
in
be
numbers.
safety in numbers for sure.
Yeah. I even think it's cool too. You talk like I've seen on like BBC specials and stuff, like the Planet Earth documentaries. And like animals will do this, right? They're like pack animals for a reason because they look like this giant figure when they're in a pack. And you watch them all move together and it's really incredible. But even just, yeah, I mean, in armies, right? Or like early army formations, they would all line up and they'd be like single file and then do like all the way back, right? So it would just be like a 10 by 10 square or whatever, 100 by 100, whatever it was. So yeah, I think it is a very primal reason for tribe building. Or maybe chicken or the egg. It was like built into the early tribes because they needed it, right? It was based on logistics. So, yeah, I think it's cool. And now, I still think this is like this transpires today, right? I mean, like you would kill for your kid if somebody tried to hurt your child or your friend, right? Like you would defend them. So, I think this is a really cool part of tribe building and community. That I mean, obviously we know we don't necessarily need the aggression or the protection that we used to once need, but I think now maybe it's more of like an emotional protection, right? We would do
Well,
anything to like help each other.
for sure, and yeah, applying it to a modern day, you even have things like financial survival and protection. Like you have large families living in a single household to,
Mm-hmm.
like in Korea, like you said, where the grandparents would live with you know, in your family,
Yeah.
and everybody would kind of work together and bring all the money into one house.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. Like as soon as a woman became pregnant, the grandmother figure would quit their job and move in with the mother. So all of a sudden, she could help her pregnant daughter and then the grandkids that came after it. And then yeah, you're right. I mean, the protection goes both ways because now all of a sudden these like grandparents are no longer responsible to carry the financial burden. So yeah, absolutely, you see that all the time now in our modern day tribal relations, right? I wish we had more of that. I did come back from Korea with this newfound love and understanding for all elders, but like especially the elders in our family, right? I was a lot more protective of the elders in our family than I was before I lived in an Oriental country. Awesome. Okay, so our second one is social bonds, and I think this one is like probably the typically most important one now. I mean, you're always, humans are inherently social. So we have this desire to connect, and based on different like social interests, oh, you like that band? I like that band. Or, oh, you want to go to this place, or you have an interest in travel. So we're always kind of looking for that social bond and cooperation, working together to build these like networks and providing emotional support for each other, a sense of belonging. And we talk about this often. I don't want to open this can of worms, but I have to, just crack the lid a little bit because I talk about this a lot and it's becoming really prevalent in our society. People going to therapy. And whether we're for or against it, it doesn't really matter. We don't have to discuss that. I think that is starting to provide people for this kind of like sense of emotional support that maybe we once or still can. I think people need to feel more comfortable reaching out to friendships and being more vulnerable and comfortable letting their friends in on, or family members in. And I think that can build like that relationship even closer, right?
Well, yeah, I guess as we're gonna get to later, that's probably a result of not having that small, close-knit tribe.
Totally. Yeah, the Dunbar. Yeah, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about Dunbar's number. Yeah. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I think it's becoming more we hear about it more, but I think we need to go back to these like fostering bonds, cooperation. Back at like even me growing up, I mean, my parents would call not just emotional support, but like physical support. They would call their friends and say, "Hey, you know, we're trying to fix this car. We're trying to move, you know, now they do the boats, right? My parents live in Black Creek, so they'll help each other out and they'll come to each other's like rescue to like for physical support. I don't like if me and Jacob need help now. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Our family is still wonderful. We still have those, but maybe it's our level of comfort. So like we feel like we need to like find somebody that we're going to pay. We don't want to like, you know, reach out to someone and make them responsible for our situation. For whatever reason, it is getting where people aren't relying on each other for these like social cooperations or support. Everybody's so busy. No one has any time for each other to help each other. And I think it's sad. I think it's sad because I think some of the strongest bonds that I have are people that are my support system socially or physically that have come out to help in whatever, you know, ventures we're on. And it really makes a difference. When people get together and they cooperate and they work on a project together, it goes really awesomely.
For sure. And yeah, and I guess that kind of, well, like it says in the end there, hunting and gathering, that was the advantage that humans had over other animals was their ability to communicate, right?
Right.
So that
we
allowed for
cooperate like
better-
you go
better
this way, I go
hunting.
this way, and we're gonna corner them, right? Yeah, so yeah, it was that cooperation. But even think about, you know, things that like get built now, right? Like we talked about in our last or maybe 2 or 3 podcasts ago about building temples or building these big huge crazy structures, right? Like that was only happening because there were thousands of people that were all together cooperating to build this beautiful church or, you know, town hall or, you know, mail, like their post office or something. So yeah, we only get, and now we do it too, of course, you know, now it's a job site. You know, think of all the construction job sites you've been on. That wasn't one guy doing that by himself, lifting these giant pieces.
And sometimes that cooperation doesn't happen like it should. And,
and then things go bad. Yeah, for sure. There could be breakdown, but the tribe's still there. The people are still there coordinating and working together.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And we kind of did the next one. We talked about, resource sharing.
Yeah, so resource sharing.
Mm-hmm.
In early societies, resources such as food, water, and shelter were often scarce. Tribes allowed for the pooling of resources, with individuals contributing what they could and sharing what others needed. This helped to ensure the survival and well-being of the group. But I think this was oftentimes, I guess what started creating more like human-on-human conflict and stuff like that, where you had people that were doing
Competing.
really well and people that weren't. And
yeah, now there's the haves and have-nots, right? So you see that a lot of division in tribes, really. Now the tribes tend, and we talked about this at the first one, it could be an economic, right? And is it economic?
yeah.
Yeah, it could be economic tribes, right? I mean, unfortunately, we've created those divisions and like having the rich and having the poor. So yeah, there definitely can be issues with the sharing of resources. And what struck me, I was thinking, it was like, oh wow, like we've gotten so good at sharing resources that now we have like, we see these giant high-rise buildings, right? We're all sharing like one furnace or one, you know, one roof and one plot of land, and we have this like giant high rise where all these people can share resources together. Now we pull all the resources together, we get a gym, we get a pool, we got a hot tub, we got a sauna, things that people couldn't afford otherwise, but they're resource sharing, right? So they're pulling them together. And I've talked a lot, well, we were talking to Kezia in New York, right? And she was like, yeah, we're like a community, like the whole apartment building, they have these like beautiful like rooftop patios and whatever. So so resource sharing, I think is still very, very prevalent in our tribal building right now.
Yep.
Awesome. So cultural identity and tradition. So yeah, I think this is still really relevant today. I mean, we in Canada, we talk, yeah. I don't. It's
yeah. I think we were talking about that when we went to New York. Like, it's funny.
I was just gonna say that, but I was trying to find a way of saying it without. Yeah, we talked about this. It's crazy how people look for the same traditions and ethnicities. Yeah.
Even though you are from somewhere else and you're going to this new place, we tend to kind of latch on to what's familiar to us.
Yeah. I think I always am so like, touch and go with it because I don't know how to discuss it without it sounding condescending, right? I mean,
or it is like, it's kind of racist, I guess.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I mean. I don't want it to be because I think it's beautiful, and just because you are just because you have a tribe full of like white people that you all relate to, and you all have the same things that you like, and the same things that like that you relate to each other, doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have other tribes where there's other ethnicity and other traditions and culture, right? That's, I think, I'm just being careful with like the topic of it, because I'm not saying that only people just stick together in their race. I'm just saying it is relatable. It's a tribe that gets together, and especially I find when you, like you said, when you move to a new place and maybe you're the exception, you're the less common ethnicity, it is really important for you to find other cultures that will continue to maintain your customs and your traditions. So it makes sense to me.
For sure.
All right, my favorite, family, reproduction, and kinship ties. So yeah, I think this is important, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into our own families and how important it is for us. But it's the most important, I think, it's the most important tribe. It's the one you're born into. I always, see these posters where they're, where it's like, families something like, I can't think of it exactly, but it's something about like friendship. We chose friendship, and that's more important than like you're born into your family, but like you choose your friendships. I disagree. I think that like you're born into this family, and you share all this history, right? You have the same leaders of your tribes that go back generations. How you have crazy Uncle Joe, and everybody in the family knows all the stories about crazy Uncle Joe. So like I love our family tribes.
Well, yeah.
Maybe just because we have amazing ones.
We have very good families.
Yeah.
You talk to a lot of people where that's not the case.
Right.
And then their friends are so much better of a situation than their families.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
when you have a tight-knit family, it really is, it's a great defense for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you do get that emotional support. You do get like physical support. I mean, there's things that like you're not going to feel comfortable calling your friend and asking for something, right? Where you would your family. I mean, I don't have enough hours in the day to discuss all the times that my family have dug me out of emotional or actual like financial problems that I've dug myself into. So shout out to them. And you're right, I guess it depends on the type of family you have, but it's the original tribe that you have. And I find like when you talk to people, I mean that's who they spend the holidays with, that's who they are traveling with, that's their tribe that like is forever, right? They always continue to keep coming back to that tribe. And yeah, depending on how wonderful your family is, it can be even more frequent, which is awesome. Yeah.
All right.
So we're doing leadership.
Yep.
Jacob can't follow notes.
You skipped one.
I know. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I was trying to be nonchalant. Now they all know we skipped one.
Yep. That's all good. Okay, yeah, the next one is leadership and organization. So tribes help to create systems of leadership and organization. A tribe often has a chief or a leader who provides direction, makes decisions, and mediates conflicts. This structure helps maintain order, ensure fairness, and establish laws or rules for the group's functioning. So yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, I was just looking into, the modern day tribes, and it was interesting. Some of them don't want to have, a single person as a leader.
Right.
So some of them kind of have councils and things like that. But there typically is people at the top that are decision makers.
We've had this discussion ad nauseum because of our political system, which we are not going to get overly into, but it is a tribe, right? Your country's your tribe.
Yeah,
and there
is
is one guy at the top.
And yeah, unfortunately it's, when you're trying to please everybody, you're going to please nobody, right?
Right. And again, it makes sense that they just have this like figurehead person at the top. I think in small tribes, a leader is like imperative, right? I mean, I'm going to get more into this because I'm currently building a tribe. And I think I always was with the dance studio with Infinite Motion. I own a dance studio for listeners that don't know that or haven't tuned in. This is their first podcast. Just so you have some relativity, I own a dance studio. So I am kind of building that tribe, and I've always been building it with the students and the parents. And it's a lot of pressure, right? I mean, lots of times people come to you with questions and you got to think on the spot. And like now I'm getting better as a leader and being able to say, you know what, I'm going to think about that and I'm going to get back to you. But it is important for people of a tribe to have a decision maker. Even just look at it like in our own family. There's 4 of us, you know, it's Phoenix, Anna, me, and you. And somebody's got to make the decision still. Phoenix and Anna will both come to me with 2 conflicting ideas, and they want me to pick. They want me to be like the differentiation, right? Or differentiator. They want me to be the leader, and they want me to decide. So I think I think typically, not every, obviously, but I think typically it makes sense that you do have kind of like a decision person. And it's not easy. It's hard being that leadership position. I think when you're young and you don't, maybe you have a boss that you hate, so that's your leader, or you have a prime minister that you swear about on the side of your house. It's easy to point at the leader and be like, you know, screw that guy. He's at the top. He's making all the decisions, you know, he's the problem.
Yeah.
So I will say, I think it is, you know, typically in any group, you're going to have like that top guy, and it's a hard job. Let me just put it that way. You know, for anybody who's in that position, who's pointing at their employer or even their spouse, you know, my wife, she's the worst. She makes me do all the things. It's hard. It's hard being in that position where you are responsible for trying to make all the right decisions for everyone in your tribe.
Yep.
That's the only thing I'm going to say in defense of myself. Myself and all the CEOs out there.
Well, it's also like there are good leaders as well. 'Cause, like you have kind of dictators who it's their way of the highway, and
totally.
you have people who are willing to listen and work with the people.
Yeah, we're going to get into this later, but yeah, we're going to talk about your boss.
Yeah.
Who I've never heard you ever have that sentiment about, because he is just incredible, right? He's such a good leader that you never feel like he's bossing you around. You don't ever have that, like you never get put in that position where you're feeling like you're being taken advantage of or whatever, right? So, which is why you're sticking around. All right. So yeah, leadership. Great. We need leadership. Next one is cognitive and evolutionary reasons. I love this. This was Dunbar's number, but I've actually listened to a number of people talk about this like village and perfect number for like a tribe. And his study was 150. I think I've read 100, but 100 or 150. So I mean, you know, think about what population of people you're living in. How many people are in Niagara Falls?
Yeah, I think we're up to 90,000 now.
Where'd you see that?
Literally the
population
like,
he's not gonna know
sign
this answer.
as we drove back into from the New York trip.
Those kill me. Did they go up there and put like, you know, 90,001,
well,
90,020?
No,
like, why do they change it?
They never used to update it a lot, but
Yeah.
It must have been recently updated because I hadn't seen that in a while. Because I think we used to be like 75.
When?
So 90 is a big jump.
I got the median age. No, that doesn't help us. As of July 1, 2024, population of Ontario was 16,000.
Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, Ontario. You want Niagara Falls. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll relook. And that must have been 16 million.
Yeah.
Good
definitely.
number reading, Brianne Steinberg. Yeah. Again, I don't need to tell you.
Yep.
I'm here for my good looks. Okay, here we go. Population of Niagara Falls. Oh, this is 2021 was 94,000.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what I thought. It was past 90.
Do you think that was the pandemic? Oh, here we go. 2024. This is even more updated. 98,000.
Okay.
Ooh, 2025. Are we going to be at 100,000?
Wow, breaking 100.
Yes. Go Niagara Falls. I bet you during the pandemic we got 1 million new people. Not 1 million, you know.
Oh, well, I don't know.
8,000.
We keep building houses. And,
or 15,000. Anyways, the reason why I wanted you guys to know, you know, that's typically the tribe that you're, you know, associated with. That's your like metropolitan. That's your like city center.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
Your municipality.
Obviously, this 150 number isn't feasible. And you see even like when we go up north that has a much smaller population, but that's still like 5,000 in a town, right?
Yeah.
And I think what it comes down to is just being able to have an actual relationship with somebody. Like when there's 5,000 people, yeah, you probably know, you know, you've seen them around enough, you know most of everybody, but you don't really know what their life is like. Where when it's 150, like there's a good chance you know everybody in that tribe.
Yeah.
And you have a strong like personal relationship with all of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that everybody knows their name. Was that Cheers?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dunbar's number is based on the idea that the size of the neocortex, we'll have to do some digging on that word. It's a part of the brain that's associated with language, cognition. Excuse me. It limits the number of social relationships that the primate brain can maintain. So yeah, like you said, and I mean, we see this all the time. Think back to like if you ever, you know, walked in the mall and you saw someone from like kindergarten or grade school or high school, or, you know, keep going through the walk of like, so your brain kind of does like forget those people, right? Because now it might only have its like current max out where you can only remember 150 like today, right? So that does maybe you've kicked out the kids from like kindergarten or grade school or whatever. So it basically says that you can only maintain that. So Dunbar's study, or his number, was established by extrapolating a regression line that describes the relationships between group sizes and the relative brain capacity in primates to humans. And they did a bunch of different contexts, and this is like the studies that I've kind of read up on were like the military. So they thought it was really crazy because they would do like strict hierarchies and clear ranks in like military groups, but they typically keep them their regimes are like to 100 to 150. So they're basically finding that like a group of that as a troop. So even if, let's say, you go with an army of like 1,000, they'll separate them into like pods of 100 because they take care of each other better. They're more, you know, instinct with each other. They're more like intuitive, and they have more like compassion amongst each other. Instead of stacking them into the group of 1,000, that might be like a better actual defense or protection, or, you know, strike, right? Like an aggressive attack.
And you're just the disposable stormtroopers.
Yeah. Oh, and there's like 1,000 of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. No, you gotta be the Jedi. I feel like Jedis are like, you know, 2 at a time. No, they always had like a, you know, ragtag squad. Yeah, so they use that, and then they also did like business, like for business, they would, like, if somebody has a factory, they would like kind of separate them and make sure that there was only like 150 people working in the factory. So yeah, it's cool study, and I think that we really do see that for ourselves when we go up north, because it's such a small community that we understand. I mean, you know, our friends are maybe a little annoyed by it because they're just like, oh, there's that guy again, you know, they know everyone, so it gets tiresome maybe that there's not, you know, more fresh meat in the town. I don't know. Maybe they're just mad about the dating pool. Luckily for all our friends, most of them are all married off, so they don't have to worry. Actually, we imported wives for them. We brought their wives to them, which is great. And then we also brought my brother there and left him wifeless. Anyway.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. So evolutionary processes, great. And then spiritual religion. We kind of touched on this a little bit before with ethnicity, but yeah, same type of thing, right? I mean, you want like minds. You are searching for people that want to practice the same as you, do the same ceremonies as you, and that kind of reinforces the bond between your members and your tribe.
Well, yeah, this says many tribes were formed around shared spiritual beliefs or religions, but I wonder how many spiritual beliefs and religions were formed from a tribe.
The tribe. Yeah, the tribe gets together. Well, I did it like as a workshop a couple weeks ago. I sat down with my team of teachers and I was like, you guys are my teachers. You're my front guys. what do you believe? What do you want our students to get out of this class? What do you want our students to feel when they come here? What do you want their values to be? And then when you think about rituals and routines, think about your family traditions, right? Think about like what you do at Christmas. What do you do at Easter? What do you do on birthdays? Like, what's your Saturday night tradition with your family? So the ritual part, I think, just makes you feel stronger and more connected. It's your like bonding style, right? With your tribe. So yeah, I think take away religion or whatever, spirituality, but even in our like modern day scenarios with our communities, it's all about your rituals and your routines. We always go to that restaurant and we watch the football game together, right? So rituals really just strengthen the bond of the tribe members, definitely.
Well, yeah, and even in big religions like Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to have various churches that do their own thing, and you're still like, even within this thing, you can't go to the same place and expect the same result. Like every church is its own thing, its own tribe, its own community there, and
Totally.
Everyone isn't for everybody. And
we're doing a lot of discussing with our growth coaches about that, just what makes you different from everybody else, and not to I mean, obviously we're doing it kind of like for some advertising and marketing reasons. But it makes you soul search. It makes you like dig deep and be like, yeah, what do I have to offer my tribe? And what am I looking to, what do I want my tribe to look like? And what do I want our rituals, our traditions to be, right? What do I want people to feel when they come to my dance studio? So yeah, I think it's the best way to celebrate your tribe is by developing these different rituals and traditions and making them your own. I think it's fun. That's always been my favorite thing to do. Create events, plan parties, have ridiculous themes, and make my husband participate.
I always liked the idea of rituals too. I just think it's a cool thing that people do.
Yeah.
Whether it's as simple as like say a prayer before a meal or something, it really does add this kind of I don't know,
nuance?
Just something nice about it. Yeah,
I was reading the word
reading
about the word nuance.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
I said it in a podcast, and I was like, I don't even know what that word means. I'm learning so many words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, and our last one, reasons for making a tribe are social influence and norms. And yeah, like I said, we're not going to get too much into this. We've shaken hands and agreed we're going to try to stay away from politics because it gets too controversial and really you just end up chasing your tail.
Yeah.
But it is typically a really big reason why people make forms, form tribes, and, make boundaries and stuff because you need an expectation. Your tribe needs to function on some rules. It needs some governing body to make sure that everybody is safe and everybody is, taken care of. And yeah, I think it's a very typical thing for a tribe to form in like a political setting.
Well, yeah, and it's not written down here, but I think it also kind of implies like y'all kind of look the same too.
What do you mean?
I don't know. That just tends to happen, Groups.
They'll all look the same?
You can see groups pretty easily, like, oh, look, there's the punks,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like you're talking about your clothes and your dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people identify like
ethnicity. I'm like, we're not doing that again.
No.
Yeah, they'll definitely, have the same like vibe or energy, they'll all be dressed the same or talk the same. You'll hear a lot of the same like slang words or dialects in a tribe of people, accents. Yeah. And not even, you get it in terms of like political structures too. Like, you're American or you're we heard all this crazy like accents in New York. And yeah, it just becomes a dialect, right? Not just an accent, but a dialect to like a geographical area. So yeah, lots of different reasons for making tribes. I think they're all wonderful. Again, like I said, the rest of the podcast, we're going to get specifically into our tribes and then talk about some, like you said, modern day tribes that are still very indigenous, let's say indigenous tribes that are functioning the way we kind of envision when we think of the word tribe. It's not just a group of people. It typically is, a group of people who are living off the land.
Yeah, there's a good old Terrence McKenna quote. He just says, "Find the others."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's your
find
tribe.
people who are like you. Yeah,
Yeah.
find your tribe. Find people that are like you. That's awesome. So yeah, we get together for various reasons. I mean, at the end of the day, it's because humans are social and they want this sense of belonging. They want to find cultural identity. They want to find mutual support. While the structure of modern society obviously is like evolved into what it is now, I think the need for groups in whatever form, community, social network, still stays and still a fundamental part of the human experience. And again, like I said, people that are, describing themselves as feeling lonely is a perfect understanding that humans need it. You know, especially you hear someone loses their partner or moves away from their family, right? They just feel this sense of like deep isolation and loneliness, which sucks. Worst feeling. I felt that when I was in Asia the first couple weeks. And then I made a new tribe. I still talk to you guys, but yeah, I was able to kind of like move on and find new tribes, which is great. So yeah, this actually kind of struck me. I think coming into the holidays, especially, there's tribes that like you only get together with like once a year, right? Like they're your like annual tribe. So this is kind of what struck it for me. So we had our podcast on Wednesday, and just give you guys kind of the backstory of how this process works is we do a podcast on Wednesday, we shoot it, and then by Thursday I start thinking about what we're going to do for the next week, right? Because that was done. So yeah, the following day after our podcast last week, I had my annual bake exchange. So this is like a very specific annual tribe that I only see once a year. We get together to do like a bake exchange. So we're basically baking for each other and doing all the just doing our like baking. So for all our celebrations, right? We have Christmas celebrations throughout the season. So yeah, it was such a wonderful sit down the day after our last podcast with these women, and these girls have been doing the bake exchange since 1995. They were all intermittent. I think a few of them like didn't work at St. Joe's, but they were like friends with. So my mom was a teacher for my whole life, and we're going to be talking about our family tribes soon. But yeah, she was a teacher, so her tribe was obviously her staff members that she worked with. And yeah, it just made me, I think I was sitting at that table looking around and thinking like, oh, this is such like a it was such a nostalgic tribe for them. I mean, I'm just the younging being, invited in and being able to kind of take from their experience and all the wonderful things that they have to offer as teachers and as some of them mothers, and now some of them are grandmothers. So yeah, it's a really exciting tribe, and we only get together once a year, but it's so wonderful to have like that experience and that wisdom passed down, because they're in a different era of their life. They're most of them well past their 40s. So yeah, I love sitting down with them, and that's really what struck me. And then I started thinking about all the different tribes that are surrounding us that we are involved in, and yeah, I thought it was exciting to kind of touch on that one. And then obviously, yeah, we have more prevalent tribes that are around us that we function within every day. So that's a very unique, special tribe that I'm part of, and it's only once or twice a year that we get together, but still a fun tribe, right?
Yeah, I guess I have my annual Algonquin trip, which unfortunately we missed this year.
Exactly.
But I only typically see those guys like once a year. And and it's great.
Yeah. You catch up, right? Just like talk about everything. I bet you have lots to talk about.
Yeah.
Just guys sitting around a fire, paddling for 7 hours. Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. I mean, we touched on it, but yeah, it's cool when that's part of your ritual, right? That's your like tribal tradition, is that you guys drive 5 hours, 8 hours north
to go drink beers in the woods,
to go paddle your rear end off for 6 hours and drink beer in the woods.
Yeah, sleep in a tiny tent.
How do you get the beer out there?
We're one of the few that actually we're construction workers, so we carry it where everyone else would whine about it.
You don't whine about it at all?
We do 2 trips.
I would just start drinking the beer so that I didn't have to carry anymore.
Oh, sure. That happens.
Every beer you drink gets a little bit lighter. You get a little drunker. You don't care as much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's too bad you guys didn't get to do it this year.
Yeah, it was a shame.
Maybe next year. All right. So yeah, let's start with our families. It's your first tribe. You're born into it. We hit the lottery.
Well, yeah, we're lucky to have both our parents are still together, and
Alive.
our grandparents were, and
Yeah. Do we have any divorce in our family?
I don't think
few
so.
aunts and uncles.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
yeah, not our immediate family. Yeah, both our parents are still together, both still alive. And yeah, both our sets of grandparents, all four sets of grandparents stayed with their partner. That's bananas.
Yeah.
It's becoming exceedingly less common. Let's say that.
Yep. Till death did them part.
Till death do us part, 100%. Yeah, we always joke about it. We're just like, we don't believe in divorce. So no matter what, buddy, where are you going to go? Do you want to talk about your family first?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, so I have four other brothers, so we're five boys in my family, no sisters. My dad grew up as an auto body worker, but later became a pastor in a church, and yeah, my mom had to raise the five of us, and then now in her later life, she's doing some water treatment stuff in a mine, but yeah, it was a crazy. I don't know, kind of a less common to have that many kids.
Yeah.
Not.
Now
I
it's
guess it was
unheard
common in
of.
the past, but yeah, less common now.
Yeah.
So
Did you
even
know
when we
any
were
other
growing up,
families when you were growing up? Five kids?
uh,
I can't name one.
like the odd one,
What?
the odd family. Yeah,
The
we
odd
we knew
one.
a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, yeah.
that had, five. But
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I can't name one single family that's five. Oh no, Kezia's.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. My cousin Sherry and Blair, they have five kids.
yeah. But yeah, so
Five, yeah. They have three boys and two girls.
I think with five boys, we just ended up being we all kind of, but when maybe it's just part of who we are, anyways. But we're all pretty relaxed. Like we don't get startled easily,
So
and
relaxed.
we're yeah,
Yeah, I guess it could be just your personalities, but it could be the chaos that was like in your household, just five kids. Like
yeah.
that
Like
just seems
if
insane to
nothing's
me.
actually on fire, there's no reason to act like something's on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say enough about my mother-in-law. She is very, very relaxed. She's so chill. And actually, I see this. I only tend to see this in mothers of all boys. Maybe I'm just making comparisons where they're not due. But yeah,
Yeah.
mothers of all boys just seem so relaxed. Like they have seen it all. Yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah, okay, so I can talk about, if you're done, I can talk about mine.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, my tribe, my first initial Steinberg tribe is actually just my mom, my dad, and my brother. But yeah, same thing. My parents are still together. They've been married. I feel like they were just talking about their anniversary recently. I don't even want to quote a number because you know how like off I'll be. Would it be, if they got married at 20 and they're 65, would it be 45? I think it's their 45th anniversary, close to it, because I think they got married when they're 20 and my mom turned 65 this year. So yeah, so my mom was a school teacher growing up. I had kind of mentioned that when I was talking about the bake exchange. My dad worked at a chemical plant. And I have one little brother. He's a couple years younger than me, my brother Brent. So yeah, we're actually gonna have Brent. Oh, sorry, we're gonna have Brent on. I can't see anything then. We're gonna have Brent on over the Christmas break. I'm hoping on the December 29th podcast. You can check that out. And we're gonna try to get him on. He's like a big health guy. It wasn't he went to school for philosophy and great books, but yeah, he ended up now in his later years, he's really interested in health and nutrition and fitness and stuff. So we're gonna get him on to talk about some stuff like that. So yeah, that was our original tribes, and then I say that we have the most wonderful family. It's not just our immediate family, but also our extended family, right? Like think about when we get together with like the Unrau side, or we get together with the Steinbergs, or we even just our, like my mom has a smaller family. She only had one sister, so even the Larrabee side of my mom's side of the family, we just have such wonderful family tribes. So yeah, Again, I think that we touched on it before, but I think it's so important because, that's why we are the emotionally supported humans we are today, because we always had, not one, but hundreds of, family members that we always feel comfortable reaching out to, and we always feel so much love and support from. So, yeah, I think families being the original tribe is great.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out specifically to our Aunt Michelle and our Aunt Risa. They've become, our second and third mom to our kids. When we are thinking about tribe building, they totally are who come to mind for us, right? They're so ingrained in our lives. And sometimes family is like an annual tribe. You just get together for Christmas, like our Steinberg or on around Christmas get-togethers. But yeah, our aunts are so involved in our life. We're together, at least once a month, I would say, which is cool. So that kind of got me thinking. And when I was looking at like our family tribes, and then I was thinking about, typically professional tribes or political tribes. I kind of just started seeing, this disjoint. And anyone I'm talking to, I'm obviously really involved in all our families in the studio. And I thought it was so interesting because I think, and it makes sense when you say it out loud, but I just see, wives typically running all the households, but men are like running like the business centers and their career, they tend to be leaders in like career settings, which I thought was really interesting because that kind of goes back to those like original gender roles, which, we're running through the street. Women are running through the streets, talking about feminism and equal rights and stuff. But we really do seemingly have this innate construct of like women wanting to kind of be the matriarch in the household and men wanting to be leaders in like business settings, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
Which then led us into discussion last night about why we've never had a female prime minister or president.
Well, yeah. Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? Why not?
I think it is. I don't know. Well, I guess Canada, we haven't really had like someone like they're ready to go. I guess the Green Party did, but
they had a girl?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a different thing. There's European countries that they have female prime ministers, and
really,
that's going on. You had I don't know, the Queen Elizabeth for so long, and right, but
who? Oh yeah, Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they have it in monarchy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just being.
But no, you're
Tiny
right.
vision.
Like it's only been male presidents in the States, and they've tried a couple times, but I don't know, or it just wasn't the right person. Like,
I also do feel like it used to be like we did have this kind of stereotype of like the men came home and like they were the boss. They would just like yell and scream. Again, it's a stereotype.
Yeah.
But stereotypes do come from like something, right? So we do have stories of like, our dads will tell us like, oh man, my dad would come home, we would hide under the bed or hide in the closet. So yeah, I feel like a huge shift with that, and you wonder kind of like how it's happened the way it does. That like, yeah, I know like maybe it's just me, maybe that's the tribe that I'm collecting, like very strong, powerful women. But they tend to be like the leaders in their households. Like I feel like it's. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like I call all the shots in the household?
Yeah, I feel like the household isn't my domain.
Is or not?
Is not.
Is not, yeah. And maybe it is just like an interest thing, right? Maybe women like take an interest. They want their house to be a certain way. They want their kids to be a certain way. They have this vision and mission for their family.
Yeah, I got my music corner and my art desk, and that's it.
I know. I was thinking of like all the arguments that we have where I'm just like, why are you like collecting all this junk? And then I'm like, oh, wait, I have an entire house full of my junk. But a lot of it is the kids' stuff. So maybe an even crazier thing, and I've seen this too, where the kids are the leaders in the households now.
Oh, yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've like seen some great comedians spotlight this, and we're just like, yeah, I'm afraid of my kids. Like, my kids make all the decisions, and I just have to, like, bow down to them.
Yeah, you're not allowed to hit them anymore, so.
Yeah, I know. Do you think that is it? We're not allowed to inflict fear because we don't want them to be, like, traumatized. We don't want them to have childhood trauma from us inflicting fear. So the alternative to fear is just
Yeah, you get walked over.
Yeah, you get walked all over.
Yep.
I hate that.
Well, that's reality. Unfortunately, fear is a good motivator.
It is, but like I'm really motivated by love.
Sure.
I really am.
Yeah.
I'm motivated by like, oh, I want that person to like feel good. I want I want to bring joy to that person. But maybe that took my mom.
Yeah, but is somebody going to be able to force you to do something with love?
No.
Yeah.
But really, should we be doing things because we're forced to do them?
Well, exactly.
We should be doing things because you want to do them. Should your kids be doing
something because you're forcing it to do them? It's bedtime, brush your teeth.
I know.
Those are things crazy. They need to do.
You're trying to just you're trying to be so nice and manipulate, or like entice them, positively reinforce. That was my mom's favorite growing up because she was, I didn't even talk about this. So yeah, it was even like wilder because she was a teacher, but I should have said this. She was like a behavior expert. So I get together with, like I said, those women at the Bake Exchange, and I'm like, they got all the techniques. Like they have strategies to motivate children like I have never seen before. Most of the time they're just talking about like different, scenarios and kids that they had over the years, which is so fun. But when they start pulling out strategies and like different like situations and like how to deal with them, and this is what you say, and that's, those scripts and systems. I was raised by someone who was, she was a behavior expert in her field. Her job was to like, try to modify kids' behaviors so that it was more accepted by their tribe. These were kids that were like, the menaces of their class, the menaces of their families. Like no one wanted to interact with these kids. And they were in my mom's class. There would be 8 to 10 of them a year. And she would literally just spend her whole entire semester trying to make baby steps with them so that they responded to positive reinforcement. She wasn't allowed to hit them. She had to like do things that would motivate them and entice them to like do the wanted behavior, which is so hard.
Yeah, it's a tough go. And obviously I'm not saying hitting your kids is the answer.
No, of course not. We don't hit our kids.
No.
But like, think of all the times that you're just beating your head against the wall, trying so hard because they just won't put their shoes on.
But it does work.
It does work. I'm just saying. Yeah, you go back like a couple generations, and like that was the switch, right? I mean, men were in charge. There was some spanking.
Well, yeah, I feel like our generation now it's kind of like a big experiment. Like we've all kind of decided this. That
collectively,
this isn't what we should do anymore.
We don't want to be fearing. We don't want to be mean.
Maybe we'll end up with this wonderful generation of lovely people, or we'll end up with just a horrible mess of terrible people
that don't do anything.
And they're gonna have to start hitting people again.
Yeah. Our kids are gonna be like, I smacked the crap out of my kids.
Yeah.
They'll come over to our house. They'll be like, "This is how you do it, Dad. Backhand. See, this is how you're supposed to do it." We'll be like, "Oh man." How many times I wish I could have backhanded you and I didn't. I restrained myself because I wanted you to be this, beautiful, nice person. Yeah, but maybe they're going to be slugs. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, I just think it's interesting. I think it's cool to watch specifically the evolution of the leader.
Yeah, in the smaller tribes, you had the other people. Actually, I kind of remember that. Like when I was growing up, we had, your typical neighborhood. Everybody on the street knew each other. It was a pretty close together street.
Awesome.
So you knew all the houses.
Yeah, us too.
So then you would get disciplined by other people's parents.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I feel like that's like gone by the wayside. Maybe. So I haven't talked about this yet, but we were homeschooling. Our kids were homeschooled until this year. So Annabelle is 8 and Phoenix is 5. And we were part of the homeschool community, and like that community in my head, I was thinking like, you should be totally like tribal relations and understanding. And no, like we were not allowed, like moms would, come flying across the room if I even like said something to their kid. And I'm still in that, I'm in that demographic. I want everyone to feel comfortable disciplining my kid. I was trying to, we have some friends up north that are really, Darcy and Carly. They're amazing, and they're doing empathetic parenting. And I think that's like a big part of it. When they kind of introduced it to me, I went and like kind of read it, and I was like, yeah, this is amazing. You're allowing, the people around you, you become kind of like the protector and the security for your children. And you really, not require, but you're open, to like the people around you being kind of a more disciplinary factor for your kids. And you get to be this like, loving, sweet and gentle, and you're the security. And I think there's, good, really great things to like being the always sensitive, always opening, always loving to your children, right? That's why we're doing it. The reason why we're not hitting, the reason why we're not being aggressive is because we want to teach them that we're their security. We're going to be there for them. You don't have to be afraid of me. I want you to come to me, right? I want you to like be comfortable with me. So I think that is the shift. That's the paradigm shift in the parenting style. But yeah, I fully love, because in my head, I'm like, see, that other parent is also telling you that this behavior is bad. Like, they don't care when I tell them it's inappropriate for them to be doing that. They don't care.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot, any kids, but you'll send them away with somebody else. And they'll come back and they're like, oh, they were great. They were so wonderful. They're such great kids. Yeah. And they're like, well, I wish they were like that with me, right?
I know.
But I feel like every family kind of has that if you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like,
but
you're teaching
always
those behaviors, and when they go out, they're like, oh, I better do those behaviors. But
yeah, exactly. They like save them for other people.
Yeah.
Pain in the butts. Cool. All right. So yeah, we are just on like a personal level. We are gearing up for Christmas, as everyone is. We're a couple weeks out. So yeah, we every year run like an open house for the parents to come in. They get to kind of watch their kids in class. So yeah, we're kind of getting gearing up towards that. And I think it's been an exciting year, because obviously I have touched on this, but we have like some great traction. What's the word? We're growing. We have some great growth happening in our dance studio. I've hired some growth coaches. I've hired my team. I've hired a secretary. And us working all together as a team has really grown the studio. So it's exciting. It's fun to watch your tribe grow when you're like the center and you're making the tribe. It's a different thing when you're like, oh, I'm going to join this club, right? I'm going to join a baking club. Great, fun. But when you're actually making this tribe and you're growing it and you're watching your mission develop, you're watching your rituals develop, it's really fun. So we have some workshops that are going to happen next week at the end. We have an open house this week. So I'm really excited to kind of watch some of these like traditions start to blossom and develop within my own tribe as I grow the dance studio. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting week for us. And then we also had this past weekend, I wanted to touch about this because I did mention it. Your work Christmas party.
Yeah.
Which I had an amazing time at.
Yeah.
I know obviously you did, but like, usually the wife goes and you're like, oh, here we go. I got to go to my husband's work party. But no, that's like walking in on somebody else's tribe that Aaron and Rebecca are building.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable.
Yeah, it's a good group of people.
Such a wonderful group of people. I mean, again, I said it before, but yeah, he's just such a good leader, right? He leads by example. He's not afraid to, he's done all like the floor work as well, which those are the best bosses to work for. And he's empathetic, and he's compassionate, and he gives you all the vacation you want. Yeah, I think he said that at the table we were talking about it. He was like, oh yeah, it's in writing. Like that was part of the signing contract.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, we can do this. Because obviously, I don't know, have you talked about your like work scenario prior to working for Han Builders?
What, on here?
Yeah. I can't remember if we've talked about.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because we talked about being like a solopreneur.
Yeah, we've talked about my ironworking, which was kinda what I did just after high school. I guess I worked with Gata first.
I meant working for yourself for the last 7 years.
I know. Well, I was getting there.
Okay.
I didn't. I haven't talked about that yet. But yeah, I kind of jumped around a lot. Like I remember when I started working, you have this fear of like losing your job. And then when it happens, you just get another job, right? So now I've kind of jumped around through careers, I guess, and I've moved places and gotten different jobs, and then I worked for myself for 5 years, I guess.
Oh, I forgot about the mine and the mill.
Yeah.
When you worked up north.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've had lots of work tribes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Not
crazy.
me.
Like it's working at Scott Steel was interesting because you're with them all the time. Like we would do these you'd be gone for 2 months and then come home, and you might be home for a week, and then you'd go off to another job. Hopefully you'd stick around home for a while. We used to do these trips to camp jobs, and we'd work 21 days straight, 11-hour days.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be home for a week, and then boom, 21 days straight. So the guys you worked with really were like, they were your family. Like you, like, that was who you had in this insane, crazy -40 environment.
Sorry, did you say, oh my gosh, the cold?
Yeah.
-40?
Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah.
No.
Building steel buildings.
No, thank you.
And like,
what was the day? Like, what was the hours of the day?
The hours of the day?
Like, when would you start and where would you finish? I mean, you said 21 days, but like, what was your work day hours?
Yeah, like 7 to 6, I think.
Holy crap.
You got to be there early for the meetings.
Do they pack your lunch for you?
You pack your lunch, but they make it.
Like
So in the camp, they make your food, and that's in like a hall. So in the morning, you can go in, and they got like bags, and you can just pack your lunch with sandwiches and stuff like that.
Wow. I bet you missed that a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
Because this wife doesn't cook for you.
No, yeah, I make my lunch and cook my dinner.
You make your breakfast, you pack your lunch, and you make dinner.
I've always made my breakfast. But.
Yeah, Jacob does 100% of the cooking. It was funny too because I do 100% of the grocery shopping.
You used to cook a lot, but now your business has taken up a lot more time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's funny because you just we talked about this like at our first podcast, I think, Broken Soundtracks, where you just think something's like the truth. And yeah, we were having it out one night, and I was saying to you, like, I'm doing all the cooking. And you're like, what are you talking about? I'm doing all the cooking. And I took a step back and I was like, oh my gosh, you are doing all the cooking. Because I go to work to support my teachers. I mean, obviously, the evolution of the studio is happening. So I am.
Yeah, can't play that card no more.
No, I know. Well, I buy all the groceries and you make all the food. But I don't cook at all anymore. I actually liked cooking, when I didn't have anything going on, like, now there's a break coming up. When it's in the summer, I cook.
I like it too, but
I cook in the summer.
It's different when you have to and when you want to.
For sure. You get home at the end of the day, you're tired, you're like, ugh. And I try to prep dinner, so I try to have it like, the meat picked out and thawed for you, so at least you don't have to think about it. You just have to like do the cooking. But yeah.
Yep.
Pain in the butt. All right. So we strayed away from him, but we are just such in a wonderful place in terms of your occupation, because we don't have to worry about it in terms of, running two businesses at the same time. And we're lucky that you're working for someone that we have that much admiration for.
Yeah, for sure.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. Rebecca's amazing too. I know she does all the back end of that business. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have people that you enjoy working with, because really, like, any of our modern day 9-to-5 jobs, a lot of the time you're seeing them more than you see your family.
100%.
So they kind of are your family.
Yeah, again, they're a tribe, right? Like, that's your work tribe. And that whole group of people, I mean, obviously that's not typical. You don't necessarily see all those guys on a daily basis. You're like all, alternating trades. You're working around them. So I think but again, that experience of just getting together with those people, they are motivated. Like, lots of them were in business. I was able to talk about real estate with some of them. I was able to talk about like business growth with a bunch of them. I was able to do like number crunching with the one guy, the one girl. The one couple was into snowmobiling, which was awesome because that was like another tribe of ours. Another like interest that we have. That we had a really great weekend. Christmas party, and they just continue. We got Christmas parties for the next 3 weeks. You're gonna hear more about all the tribes that we're hanging out with that are just an annual thing for Christmas, which is awesome. I think that's a good time to take a break. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that discussion about tribes. And we're going to come back and talk to you guys about some modern day tribes that are still functioning kind of like we said, in those like rural demographics and, functioning on really indigenous still lifestyles. And there's still some really cool ones out there.
All right, we'll be back.
Kids are in bed. We're dealing with sickness in our tribes, in our tribe right now.
The rainbow disaster.
Oh yeah, and the rainbow loom disaster. So we just did our hour podcast, and we walked upstairs to those entire organized loom kiosk or whatever they're called, caddies.
10,000 elastic bands of different colors.
10,000 elastic bands, different colors, all sectioned off, and she had knocked it off the table during our podcast.
Yep.
There's lots of tears. Feeny was just crying because he's sick, and Anna's crying because she dropped 8,000 loom elastics. I digress. We're back. Awesome. We're talking about finding your tribe today and the different tribes that we are so blessed to be a part of. So the last tribe I want to talk about, and I actually have two different ones because I'm going through it right now. But the last form of tribes I want to talk about, and I think this is like a modern day thing because traditionally you'd be reaching out for tribes out of need, right? Or at least desire. You want to be part of this group because you want to belong. I wanted to just like touch really quickly on tribes that we need and tribes that we don't have a choice. We have to be part of because otherwise we can't do things on our own. And that, obviously, can really extend to like any different situation where you can't do something on your own and you need to reach out to a community to help you do it. So that's vague, but when I was writing this, I was thinking about my tribe at LA Fitness. So I haven't really talked about it a lot, and it really is like a small, part of my career path. But I've been teaching fitness classes really since I was probably about 18. I teach some like aerobic type of class. We call it a bodyworks class, where it's like a weight training class. And I also teach a yoga class. So obviously it's, it's in the same family as teaching a dance class, but it's a little different because I'm using weight. So I'm doing like a weight training program. And over the years, so I've been doing it since the studio opened, I think, or almost the exact same time. I think maybe 2 years after. So let's say I've been teaching at LA Fitness for the last 10 years. And for definitely all 10 years, at least once a month, I think, I'm so busy, this could be the one thing that I let go, right? Because it's still a job. It's still something I have to show up for. And I'm still navigating my business and my family and all my other responsibilities around this stupid part-time job. But yeah, over the years, I keep going back to it because I truly don't think I would work out otherwise. I think it's a tribe that I need, or a tribe that like I couldn't do this without. You just get busy in your work life, and anybody who has a desk job can attest to this, or any job, a non-physical job, let's say, that it's really hard to like get your exercise in. I constantly am talking to my girlfriends, and they're like, that's what they're doing, right? They're going to the gym after work. They're working a full 8-hour day, and then they're going to the gym to work out for an hour or two so they stay physically active. So I've kept this tribe, I've kept this job so that I maintain my structural health, so I make sure that I still like do weight training, because otherwise I won't. So I think that's like one example. And then this other example that I was thinking about this week was my goal coaching. So now, or my growth coach. So now I've hired this like coaching team to kind of forward my business and get me kind of position me where I want to be in terms of my business. And same thing, in my head, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm paying these women so much money and men, whatever. It's a growth coaching program. I'm paying this organization, this coaching staff, so much money. Like, do I really want to do this? Do I need to do this? Is this really going to further me? So yeah, I was just thinking about, the secondary part, which is there's tribes available to us now that really can position us and get us into places, like we talked about the therapy, right? Do you want to be part of that tribe? No, of course you don't. Do you want to be part of your medical tribe? No, of course you don't. But there are tribes out there now that we participate in for our growth and for our development. And the fact that they're there and they're available for hire is incredible. It's awesome. So yeah, I think really the take home message for that piece is, if you are trying to accomplish something or you're trying to do something in your life that you're struggling with and it's not working for you, find a tribe. Find a tribe doing it, because it will help you. You will be more effective and you will be more successful if you're finding a tribe that is doing the same thing as you.
Yeah, and try and find people you enjoy being around. Like,
Yeah.
really, even
Or that you can learn from, right?
as mundane the task might be or whatever you have to do, it's always better when you enjoy who you're around, obviously.
Totally. And I think right from a young age, I was always trying to get people to join, right? And this is like a big conflict. I'm sure it's going to come up in our podcast with Brent. But I was always trying to get people. I had a task to do. Nobody else wanted to do it, right? And same now. Like we have a building to build, or we're doing a construction project, or we have like a rental that we're working on, and nobody else wants to do it. I need it done. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to gather a tribe together and they're going to feel so good about doing this with me. But yeah, my brother definitely taught me over the years that like my initiative and getting other people involved in my initiatives might not, it may be not their initiative and they don't want to be part of it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think, for the most part, if you get someone involved in your tribe and your activities, then it's always more fun to get stuff done in numbers, right? And many hands makes work light.
Yep.
So yeah, the job will get done. It'll get done faster. So yeah, getting a group together, a tribe together is always great. But yeah, don't hesitate to get involved in some of your tribes. If you feel like you're not succeeding by yourself, then get a tribe together and do it with them. Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on. We have looked up I think I literally looked up like top 10 most, wild tribes. I can't remember exactly the wording I used, but I was looking for the outlandish. I wanted to see what tribes were still in existence today. And yeah, we did some digging and we are bringing you the top 10, give or take, tribes that we looked up that are still, functioning as like an indigenous tribal group now.
Yeah. So this is like the old school, I guess what we would still call a tribe.
Old school.
Where these people are, for the most part ungoverned and left to live on their own. I was actually a little
self-governed. Let's say self-governed.
I was kind of disappointed by the information. Like a lot of what you get is from Wikipedia.
Well, come on. There's not a lot of like, first world nations hanging out with these people.
No, but there have been people that study them. But it's interesting. Like I find this a lot with Wikipedia. Actually, is that it'll give you like names and dates and places, and it's all just very boring, and it kind of seems unimportant. Like they would have a tagline like, "Oh, this tribe was known for this beautiful spiritual heritage," and then that's the only word about that in the entire thing, and then the rest was like, and then the Dutch came and enslaved them all, and I was like, "Oh, okay, great." Yeah.
Sounds like typical.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about them.
So yeah.
I liked them because a lot of them have like really cool artwork that go along with their rituals and traditions, right?
Yeah,
so
and
that's why I thought it was cool.
For sure.
Talking's not going to do it justice, but we can mention it. Maybe you guys can look it up on your own.
Definitely.
All right. Number 1.
Yeah. So yeah, this one was the Himba tribe from Namibia. They're known for their striking red ochre body paint and intricate beadwork. The Himba tribe maintains traditional practices while living in remote areas of northern Namibia. So they have, there's about 50,000 people. They are polygamous, so they say most men have 2 wives. The women do all the hard labor.
What?
So yeah,
The men have double wives and then the women go do all the work. They're like
yeah,
lions.
yeah,
Like the lioness go hunt and the lion
yep,
just like chills, plants the seeds.
yeah. So there's like one guy, and then the two wives do most of the work,
Were you
which
like,
is
oh man,
interesting.
I'm gonna be this?
Yeah,
Don't quote me on this, but I feel like my Auntie Rita has had like experience with this tribe. I feel like she showed me pictures with the red okra.
huh.
They went to Namibia. I know that when they did their like world
Oh, well,
tour.
that's probably it.
Yeah, I feel like she did talk to me about this group. And their beadwork is supposed to be incredible. Did you mention that?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yep.
Like that's the one thing I said. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so and they typically they farm livestock. I guess their value is determined by how much cattle they have.
Oh.
So they're really protective of their cattle. They actually use the cattle dung to make like temporary shelters and stuff like that to waterproof things. They'll use like
Cool.
straw and
They're farmers? So they're
well,
keeping the cattle.
yes.
Wow.
So they're like semi-nomadic.
Very cool. What's the like labor intensive part that the women are doing?
Well,
Building?
making temporary shelters, getting water,
Taking care
preparing
of the
food.
animals.
Like
Wow.
really, if you don't have to pay your bills, you're just, you
Yeah,
gotta eat,
farming.
you gotta live.
Crazy. And the men just chill.
Yeah, no, well, it said the women do more labor, so I don't think they're lazy. They definitely don't. They're not fat, that's for sure.
Okay, perfect. I feel like there should be a disclaimer at the beginning of this. None of these tribes are overweight. So
Hey, you never know.
oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right, the Himba, cool. Number 2.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was gonna say
Aw.
they worship a god called Mukuru,
Oh,
and
What's he about?
they also worship their It didn't say much. That was
Oh,
what I was disappointed
right.
by. I wanted more about that.
Yeah.
And they also worship their ancestors, but they did say that the worship of Mukuru will give them benevolence, but if they worship their ancestors, they can get benevolence, but also like malevolence.
Is benevolence afterlife?
No, benevolence is good,
Huh.
right? Good things.
No, I didn't know that word. I'm learning so many words.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what's the other
And
one?
malevolence.
Malevolence?
Yeah.
You made that up.
Malevolence is like evil or bad. So like if you want to like, you want revenge on somebody, you'll pray to your ancestors for some kind of, malevolent act.
Oh.
Where if you pray to Mukuru, he only does good things. He's not going to do bad to anybody else.
Oof. That's like, yeah, like Satan worship or something.
I guess. I don't
I
know.
don't like that.
Well, it's their ancestors.
Number 2.
Okay, so yeah, number 2 is the San tribe from South Africa. They're also called the Bushmen. They have a population of about 160,000.
Wow.
And it even said that a lot of the women will go into city centers, and they'll use grocery stores. They'll have their babies at hospitals and stuff
Yeah, that's
like
a
that.
big number. Some of the
Yep.
ones I was looking at were like under 100.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're still pretty nomadic.
Cool.
But yeah, let me see. I guess they're known for their incredible tracking skills.
What's that mean?
Tracking?
Like hunting?
Yeah, so
Following animals?
yeah. And actually, like, they'll still do this in the States when they have like missing persons cases.
Oh God, I
They'll-
don't like this.
They'll talk to indigenous like Americans, so like the native tribes, because they're excellent trackers, and they'll send these guys out. And a lot of times, like, you'll have like police combing the area, and these guys will like
Find them right
do
away.
what they do, and they'll sniff out the person like on their own.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right? We have like all this animal heritage. Like we should have these skills. There's lots of times where I'm like, why don't we have this like keen sense of smell? Or, we've talked about like mystic energy and stuff, like psychicism.
Well, yeah. So again, getting into this, it says so they're known for the tracking skills, intricate rock art, and deep spiritual connection with nature.
Cool.
So
I
they're
have one
they're
of
all
these too
about
in mine.
nature, and I think that's a big thing when you're
Yeah.
in nature a lot of the time. And I've heard people say that there's a spirit of nature that you just don't get when you live in a city.
Yeah.
You can go to a campground and that you're still not going to get it, but when you
You have
are
to spend the
just
time.
in nature for a good period of time, you
Yeah.
start to
Develop
get
those
a sense
senses.
for it.
Yeah. I
Where
guess you're
you just
desensitized and you see like your surroundings,
yeah, you're
right?
just like trees, rocks, they're like you can't describe it when until you're there kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know.
and you don't even have that like I really notice the sound of the forest when we do a lot of camping, you know? You can like hear
Yeah.
it's like it has voices.
Yeah.
But unless you really participate in it for long periods of time, you're not going to gain those senses.
Yeah. So apparently
Cool.
their shaman were very powerful. So
For
the
sure.
other tribes would go to their shaman for to make rain. So if they had a drought,
Make it rain.
the other tribes would go to them because they were, I guess, the best at it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, if they have that connection with nature, right? It makes sense. I have one of these too. They're like connected with the forest. And yeah, you see it all the time. I mean, if you're living in that, you're going to know it better than the humans that are now cultivating homes,
Yeah.
cultivating subdivisions.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 3.
All right. So the third one is the Maasai.
Mm.
I think I've heard about them before, actually, from Kenya and Tanzania. They are famous for their vibrant red shuka clothing, beadwork, and intricate ceremonies.
Oh, you sound like such crazy
The
artists.
Maasai have maintained their semi nomadic lifestyle for traditions and centuries.
Cool.
And traditions, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
all this art, right? I mean, we're called
yeah,
Artistically Married, so obviously it's clear we have all this like interest and great respect for art. But yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff, like, who has time for this anymore in our modern day
yeah,
ridiculousness? But like, look at all the time that these people are spending making this stuff.
yeah.
These guys were the big necklaces, right?
It's all pretty wild.
Covers all
So,
their chest.
yeah, some of that they do like piercing and stretched ears and things like that.
This group,
Yeah,
Masai. Mm.
yeah. Now, this was
Cool.
another one where, again, I was kind of disappointed by the information.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of time. Apparently, they do like both male and female circumcision.
Ew!
That's
Why did you say
yeah,
that?
because like literally that's all they talked about this
No.
tribe.
Ew. Okay, we're taking that out. Moving on. Number 4.
No, but the little bit which I was
No.
interested in was they worship a god Enkai, Enkie.
Okay.
So that's very interesting to me. With the Sumerian stuff, there
Mm.
was the god Enki,
Mm.
Enki, and Enlil were these Sumerian brothers, and they both were in charge of like different parts of the world. And one of them was benevolent, and one of them was evil, apparently. But then a lot of people will kind of flip flop it, and they'll say like, "Oh no, Enki was evil, and Enlil was a good one." And then some people say, you know, Enlil was a good one, and Enki was a bad one, or whatever. The you know. But so this Enkai was interesting. Like I feel like it's probably been
Sorry.
around long enough that that's what this would be going back to. I would think
Yeah, and anytime I
is
hear
that
about
old
like
Sumerian
figureheads
god.
or like leaders or gods being like good and evil, I'm like, that could just be like a philosophical
Yeah,
premise,
and
you know? Just a
apparently
story a parable that's trying to like teach those different backgrounds.
the god had two sides. There was a black one and a red one. So same thing. They would pray to the black Enki or Enkai if they wanted good things to happen, and they would pray to the red one if they wanted like vengeful acts.
This sounds like voodoo to me. I do not like this.
That's
You're like,
their
I'm
god.
reading the facts.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger.
That's what they do.
Crazy. All right. Number 5.
So this one was Yanomami from the Amazon in Brazil, Venezuela. So some of this sounded pretty good. They're one of the largest isolated tribes in the world. They practice rituals involving shamanism and are known for their communal living and extensive knowledge of the rainforest. So these guys like live in the rainforest.
Very cool.
And they typically have no
Maybe they're
single
like snake
leader.
tamers.
I don't think so.
They got the snakes in the bucket.
No, they just have to not die from them.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
There's
Tarantulas, probably.
so they have no single leaders, and their headmen gain power by their ability to settle disputes. So
Ooh,
if
fun.
you're, you know, if you have to rise through the ranks by proving
Or
your
with the
worth by,
gavel.
but then
That might be like early court,
so I don't know
like
if it's
having court
all of it,
system.
but then this one it kind of got into, they said like this one's a pretty violent tribe.
Oh,
So there's yeah, not a lot of good treatment of people in certain scenarios, and women and such. So
great.
yeah, I wasn't a fan of that
I
one.
put Jacob on the like, get some good facts about these tribes.
I know, and I wanted it, but like what I
Leave
was
out the
really,
gore and
I
devil
know.
worshipping.
What do you mean devil worshiping? It's God worshiping.
I'm just
That's what
kidding.
they're
I'm
doing.
kidding.
But that was the interesting part to me. But all it would say would, you'd get like one sentence of like, oh yeah, they got these crazy shamans that do all this crazy stuff, and then they'd move on to like, and then this happened, and then this,
Ugh.
and then they do this.
Yeah, you're disappointed with the information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Number 6.
Number 5.
No, I'm on number 6.
Number 5.
Oh.
So yeah, number 5 was the Kuna people, and this one was actually interesting because these people are known for their beautiful hand-stitched molas, which is like textile art.
Oh yeah, I looked these up.
The Kuna people have
Looks
preserved
awesome.
a rich cultural heritage and remain largely autonomous on their islands in Panama. But it was interesting because when you look at these people, it says nothing about shamanism, says nothing about worship. It says these people have a deep-rooted history of mercantilism. So these people were merchants. Like they produce clothing and
They're
sold
salesmen.
clothing. Like they're hustlers. Like they always have been.
Cool.
They like make their stuff and they like boat it around
Do
and
well.
and sell it, and that's how they've always done it.
Cool.
And so they still have this this autonomous tribe, like they're on their own, but they've always been about trade.
Yeah, I was thinking this when we read through some of these things, thinking about like your artwork, because I was like, oh, same kind of thing, right? Like at the end of the day, I mean, you're still the artist, so to put in the part of like the merchant or put in the salesperson, for us, put in the business part, is an undertaking, but like it's still really special, I mean, we feel like it cheapens it, and we just don't want any part of it, because making the art is like the beautiful, natural, talented part, and then becoming the salesman, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It cheapens it, right? You're just like, oh, I just want to make it for art's sake, not just to sell it and make money. But realistically, people are so grateful for art, right? They love to worship it. So to have it for sale or opportunities, we've had to talk ourselves through that process. Like, good for them. Good for the Kuna. They're good salesmen.
Yeah.
They're killing it. It's all over the internet. All their mola, you said it was? Mola? Yeah, it's
molas,
like it's textile stitched art. It's very cool.
Yeah, I
look it
saw
up.
a bunch
Look
of
it up,
them.
Kuna.
They were really cool.
Yeah, they were really cool. We should get some. Probably really expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
All handmade.
All artisan. Artisan?
Yep.
Whatever. All right. So that was Jacob's. He did the first 5. I did the second 5. So the number 6 is the Awa. They're from Brazil. They're the most endangered tribe in the world. So I actually did read, I got some facts. So I think in Brazil, there's only 350 people left that are identifying as this Awa people. Pardon?
350 known.
350 known, and there's 100 within those 350 people that have no contact to the outside world. So like you said, some of these people have been, I mean, they're getting deforested, right? So they're getting dehomed, and there's lots of like tragedy stories. But I think there's lots of what's the word for just like integration, right? Like they come in contact, and then they're giving them food, and then next thing they're giving them cameras, next thing they got iPhones. Like there's that integration between like tribal living and how they come out. I mean, we see, I mean, it's a very like small, and maybe it was like generations ago. We're going to touch on this a little bit at the last one, but we see it up north, right? There's still like a lot of indigenous heritage when we go to Timmins that you can see now is like turned into modern society. So yeah, there's only 350 people left in this tribe. I mean, obviously there was other, I think like pods of it in other parts of South America, but this Brazilian Awa tribe is down to 350, and there's only 100. Sorry, 100 of them have no contact. Like they've never seen another person that wasn't their tribe. So I thought it was cool. Number 7 is I'm gonna screw this sound out. I even looked it up. Toraja, I think is how you say it. And they're from Indonesia. They're known for elaborate funerals. So I looked this up, and they were talking specifically about like a nobility, somebody of nobility, and the funeral can last up to 7 days and include the slaughter of 50 to 100 buffalo. And I read that, I was like, there's no way. So I like kept reading, and like, yes, over and over again, they kept talking about these like
It's for food
mass slaughters. Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this is wasteful. No, yeah, it was like a sacrifice for the funeral. Like the funeral arrangements are just wild. Like the things that they do surrounding the funerals were so crazy. And then, yeah, I mean, they talked about some of like their actually housing was built out of wood. So they started making it out of trees. And that was pretty remarkable, too. The talent that they were building these elaborate wooden houses and structures was pretty crazy. So, yeah. Number 8 is the Bedouin. They're from the Middle East and North Africa. They're also nomadic. Desert. They're living in the desert with a rich history of hospitality.
That's crazy.
So I did, and yeah, they're just. It says here their distinct dress. They reminded me of like what you picture if someone said to you like, imagine Jesus's time. What were they wearing? This is this group of people. They're wearing like, really brown and gray and beige colored robes with like just a tie around it. Very simple clothing. I don't know. It said distinct dress, but like that's the distinction. I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be really cool and like cool colors and cool patterns. No, it's like very bland. But their hospitality was like the hospitality story was really cool. Basically, yeah, like I was just saying, people will stumble upon these tribes, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about the Sentinels or Sentinelese.
Yeah.
Where, you're these very violent encounters with this tribe where like it doesn't end well. But, obviously they do bridge gaps and they learn languages and they share with them to lure them to a point where they're building trust, right? They're letting you into their tribe. They're letting you become a part of it. So these guys have like a crazy story. Yeah, they're really still trying. They're nomadic still. And they're still trying to maintain their culture, but they have this like rich hospitality legend where people are always welcome to like come stay with them. And I thought it was really cool because there were some testimonies of people getting in bad scenarios, bad situations in the desert. They're in like, parts of Africa that were so uninhabitable on, safari or something. Yeah. And these people would take them in and feed them and help them and try to get them back to like where they need to go, back to safety. So I thought that was a cool like kind of integration between like a still maintained tribe, but starting to interact or integrate with modern day, right? People from like first world that were maybe tourists or traveling or whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine surviving in a desert. That's
right.
Tough.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you get these humans that are, I'm gonna go there on vacation. I'm on safari.
Yeah.
Like, great. I don't think you realize what it looks like. It's hot. It's very hot here. Is there air conditioning? Like, no. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, yeah, number 9 are the Mercy. They are from Ethiopia. And they're like, when you see these pictures, you're like, oh, yeah, for sure. Those women with like the giant plates in their mouths. So I did a little bit of digging and they were kind of just describing how the practice happens. I mean, right away, as soon as I was reading some of this stuff, I always, it's part of you. It's part of our like Western world to be like, that's feminine or that's anti-feminist, like to be fighting for the female gender. That's, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It just sounded very patriarchal. It sounded, not patriarchal. What's it?
Patriarchal?
Patriarchal? No,
Yes.
That's not the word I'm thinking. Misogynist? Yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. It sounds bad. It sounds like they're doing this to like the women. The bigger the plate, the more their value is, the more they get, the more the dowry is to buy them as a wife. If their husband dies and their spirit is dead and they take the plate out and they're never allowed to speak again. Like, oh, yeah. It just went on and on that I was just like, no, thank you.
Well, yeah, the same thing. That was, run into that kind of information today.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the Mercy in Ethiopia. And again, it's crazy. So we went, when we went to Thailand, we did like some northern parts of Thailand.
It looks crazy though.
It looks crazy. Yeah. It looks like a crazy piece of jewelry. When we were in Burma, no, they were Burmese people that had traveled over to Thailand in, it's not going to come to me, but it's northern Thailand. And they had come to like seek refuge. So Burma has like the long neck tribes. You know how they have all the hoops?
Yeah.
So they basically wear, even from like infancy, I think even the kids do it. They put the rings around their neck, around their wrists, and around their ankles. And I feel like, I mean, you can fact check me, but I think it was because of Bengal tiger attacks. I think there's like Bengal tigers.
Oh.
And there's a lot of scenarios where they were like interacting with, pardon?
Oh, and that's where they would bite.
And they'd bite the vitals, right, to kill the person. So they were like using it to protect their like women and children. But now they've like sought refuge. You know, obviously you're in these situations and you're like, I'm looking at this tribe who's trying to sell their knickknacks to me, and I can see 7-Eleven over the side of the river. This, I think, is the same scenario where like there's a part of this tribe that's now doing it to make money. It's novel to interact with them and see them.
They're merchants.
They're merchants, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of the experience with like getting to visit this long neck tribe. I feel like these people might have like went home and watched TV and put their foot up and eat TV dinners. Like I'm not 100% sure. But if they're not doing that, then if it's not just like an occupation for them, then it might be abuse.
I don't know.
I don't know. It might be like keeping animals as like zoo animals or humans as zoo animals. I don't know. I didn't love the feeling I got. But anyway, so yeah, we did that. And I think that's a similar situation that's happening with these like plates in the mouth. Like, I don't know if like somebody was born last year, if they're still getting it, or if it's, discontinued. I don't know how it works. But anyways, that's the Mercy, sorry. And the last one is Inuit, which is, all over parts of Canada. We have a good friend that, is part of the Inuit community. And we were so blessed to be a part of her world. And she passed down a lot of, Meg passed down a lot of like different routines and rituals from her tribe. And still really was part of it up until a couple of years ago. I was living up in Kucherah Peak on Hudson Bay. And it was awesome. She was able to kind of teach us about all these different things. So they are kayak builders. They are still like doing a lot of hunting practices, amazing fishers. They're building igloos and maintaining kind of that deep connection. They had a similar connection with the land and the sea, but obviously up north, there is not so much of the forest as, there is tundra. They were dealing with, teepees and ice fishing and but it was cool. I felt like, didn't you feel like we had like a really,
Yeah, it was
first
cool
point of contact.
Hearing the stories about it.
Yeah. Meg's dad is Inuit. I feel like we specifically know what the tribe was, but I forgot.
Well, I was gonna say that like there was like a bunch of different denominations, I guess you'd say, from what
Inuit.
You would call Inuit, or there's the Cree, and then they had their stories of old ones. There was like Brent was telling me stories of there's like a race of like giant people called like the Thul or something like that.
Cool.
And there was a warrior tribe that like took out these giant people back in the day, and
wow,
crazy history.
Cool stories. So that's our number 10 is the Inuit tribe. Cool. And I mean, that one's cool because it's in Canada, right? And like I said, we had really great first point of contact stories with our girlfriend Meg. Awesome. That's our spiel about all the typical, or not atypical, but indigenous tribes that are still happening today.
Were we going to talk about the other ones?
What other ones?
Well, yeah. When
Oh
when
yeah.
we first
Oh
said
yeah, I have them here.
when we were gonna talk about tribes, immediately I thought about North Sentinel Island, which is this island that's south of Burma in the Indian Ocean, and these people are well known because if you go to their island, like they will kill you. Like that's how they operate, and they've just kept, they want to be left alone. They want to keep their heritage how it is, and
Yeah.
honestly, it's kind of you can't really blame them for it.
Well, no, and what if the situation is just that they just like kill anyone who comes near them? So like they're not even getting information. They're just like protect.
Yeah, straight
Protect
protection.
and hide. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Keep things how it is.
I talked about this with Pat Porter on my other podcast, on our like city podcast, or it's the Pat Porter show. It's not city, sorry.
Yep.
And yeah, I was bringing up like San Juan when we were in Puerto Rico, and they, set up these like, they're like, this is the first island that they're gonna hit when people come from Europe. So like, we're gonna set up this giant fortress, and we're gonna shoot them before they get here. Like, you're not even waiting for them to give you a message or telling you what they're there for. They're just killing them before they even talk to them. Maybe there's a language barrier too in that scenario.
In those days when the people were coming, it wasn't a good thing.
Well, that's what these people are thinking on Sentinel Island. They're thinking the same thing. When these people come, it's not good. It's going to be bad.
We just like watched the history of Easter Island, or I forget what.
Oh yeah.
What was the actual name of that? They said
the Moai.
No.
Oh, the Moais are the headstones.
That's the statues.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we should do a whole podcast on that place.
But yeah, that was the same thing. They were friendly at first, and then it, turned into a bad situation.
Oh, that's as old as time, right? The indigenous people and the Thanksgiving story. Why are people just like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of this?
I know. Well, I was thinking that too when I was reading all these histories of these tribes. Like,
what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, who are you to think that you can go somewhere? Oh, look, there's people here. I'm gonna
first
tie you up in my boat and sell you somewhere. Like,
why is our first human instinct to just conquer and divide? Like, it's bizarre.
Very bizarre.
So bizarre. See, and that's why we're treating our kids so nice, so we don't have these people anymore.
I would hope so. Yeah, maybe that's
we're
all
taking
it was.
away childhood trauma. Yeah, we're taking away childhood trauma, and now if our children stumble upon someone who looks indigenous, they're not going to do anything stupid.
No.
They're going to treat them with love and respect and learn as much as they can from them. Exactly. They're going to be like, cool art.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then the last one?
Yeah.
Do you have anything about the...
Oh, the one thing I wanted to say about
Dogon?
the North Sentinel people, it's interesting, is it's actually... India has made it illegal to go there because they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
So they say, like, if you go there and they kill you, there will be no prosecution because, like, they know how it is, and
they're probably afraid of them.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not going to go there to reprimand them.
Like, you could do that, and sure, you could probably just buzz the island in no time, but
they're smart enough to know that's terrible and don't ruin someone else's culture. They were there first.
Yeah. So the other one I wanted to talk about was the Dogon tribe, and they're also another tribe in Africa. And what was interesting is that they have a very comprehensive knowledge of the stars, and there's they had information that like written in their, well, not written, but through their oral traditions, they had information that was like not discovered until we had like very powerful telescopes to look at the stars. Like, one of the things was like, I think it's the star like Sirius. There's a Sirius A and Sirius B, but when we see it in the sky, it looks like one star.
Okay.
But they knew that there was two there.
Weird.
And the only way you can tell that is with like a telescope, like zoomed in far enough to be like, oh yeah, look, it's like two separate dots, right?
Right. So somewhere in their history, somebody figured that out and then passed it along orally.
Well, they just knew this, and that's where the myth, like, they're like, how would this be possible? You know what I mean? Like, did they have technology good enough to see that? Or did they, were there people that came from there or something like that? So it gets into lots of...
it gets crazy theories. But you're right. I mean, why not think about it? Because how do they know that?
That's in their history too. Like, their gods came from the stars and told them this information and stuff like that.
Wow, cool. even just to have like again, we were talking about rituals and ceremonies, but even to have like songs that get passed down, right? We hear that a lot, where like a song gets passed down generation to generation. And because it's a song, I don't have a lot of examples, but I was Catholic, so we had like prayers that would be like the same thing everybody says it the same week. And like if you really sit down and start looking at the words, there's probably information, right? That like that would be the oral tradition.
Well, that's it too. And they say like a lot of the time the oral traditions are preserved in like poems and songs.
Yeah, the art. It's all about the art.
You keep, they say it's actually very reliable.
Yeah.
Like you would think it's like that game of telephone where they start out and then at the end it's something totally different. No, because it's
typically rote memorized. It's perfect. It's the specific words that were said.
Yeah.
Like a song, right? With a song, we sing the same song over and over and over again. If you only had 10 songs, because those were your like family songs.
Yeah, and they teach it, and everybody does it the same, and it's kept its history.
Or I guess not school. They probably don't have school. But yeah, very cool. I think that we have a lot to learn from, looking at indigenous tribes and how we tribe build today. But also it just is a lot of like it makes sense, right? It seems like it's the same like type of origins. Again, it goes back to those like top reasons why we build tribes to begin with. I think those reasons haven't changed. They still are very similar to the reasons why they would have been making, indigenous tribes are making those tribes for those reasons and practicing rituals and having a leader and all the things.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to it, really all it is like food and shelter, and like and everything else
and art.
Well, sure, but that's survival number one, and then everything else is just spawns survival off of that. Once you figure out the survival thing, then you start doing some other stuff.
Yeah, art and love, amazing. All right. Well, that is all we have for you guys tonight. The last thing I am going to say is I think there's been a big shift from after the pandemic to we're seeing a lot more digital tribing, finding your tribe in a digital platform. And again, we're not here to judge or, for better, for worse. It is there. There's so much different access to different tribes online. I think people are able to get fringier than ever. They're able to be very specific in terms of their tribe building and their interests, and the discourse and the dialogue that's happening online right now is endless. So yeah, I would say, our recommendation, we hope you got out of this, was that be respectful and be grateful for the tribes that you are a part of. And if you feel alone and you feel like you don't have a tribe, then reach out to some of these digital tribe platforms. I mean, they're available and they're there and they're so fulfilling. I mean, we're building our tribes in live in real color, living color. We're building our friendships and our tribes and our communities and our families. But if you are feeling alone, I mean, this has been great for, let's say, people that don't have mobility, right? They can't get out of their house, or some remote place where there's not a lot of people. If you're in Iroquois Falls and you need a wife, get on the platforms, get on the dating apps, do it all. If you're feeling lonely, there's no reason and nowadays to feel like you don't have a tribe or you don't fit and you don't belong somewhere.
For sure, there's so much access to everything, so you might get on some crazy obscure topic, and and there is a community there that is right there alongside you. So
yeah, and the next day you find yourself on our podcast. This is how we find our friends on these fringy digital platforms. Jacob, anyways.
Yeah,
on his conspiracy podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. It's great.
I'm here for it. It's fine. All right. Anything else? Tribes. Find your tribe.
Well, yeah. Did you want to follow us on Spotify and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I keep forgetting. Yeah, we had to figure it out. But yeah, we are exclusively on Spotify. We are not on any other platforms. I know I've had a bunch of people reach out. And yes, this is a conscious decision as a leader to only be exclusively on Spotify.
I don't think so. I think we're still just kind of figuring out how the whole thing works. No?
Not me. No, we're sticking with Spotify.
Sticking with it?
Yeah. I love the platform. I have great respect for Spotify. I think they are doing amazing things. I love them.
Okay.
Shout out to Spotify. You're killing it. You offer me everything I want and more.
That's true. They really did. They made hosting a podcast pretty easy.
They made hosting any kind of music so easy. I'm a dance teacher. I'm always hosting parties, playlists all day. Spotify is just doing an amazing job of creating that tribe, right? They're creating like a auditory tribe. And I think they have videos now too. Anyways, follow us on Spotify, please. The more that we have followers, the more we get to keep bringing this content to you guys. We love the support. And yeah, I know everyone's been reaching out to us since, we started this a month ago. We are starting to have guests this week. Our next podcast is going to be with our good buddy, Jeff Emmett. So definitely follow us for that. He's going to be bringing all his cryptocurrency information to us and mycology.
Yes.
And how they overlap.
For sure.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Definitely follow us. Give us a follow. Give us a like. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. Find your tribe.
Yep. Good night.